Got something here.
Will, I want to start with you. Give me your reaction.
Okay, first of all, I love it. I love Daryl Morey's willingness to go back to the drawing board over and over. I love his willingness to be creative, that he sees a world full of yeses, not nos. And I'm going to ask you guys to do the same thing here just for a moment. Max, Ryan, because I think everybody really is excellent at shooting down ideas. It seems to be what the mark of intelligence is. That would never happen. That's stupid. But we live in a world right now, I truly think a unique time in the NBA where crazy trade ideas are not crazy. And it's all because of one reason. Because LeBron James is with the Lakers. And what I mean by that is one of the world's greatest players, and in some estimation still the greatest player on the planet, is on a franchise where the timeline for competition doesn't match up with his age. Everybody on the Lakers that matters, part of that young core, is 4, 5, 6 years off. LeBron is now. So if that's the case, there's nothing crazy. So I just want to ask you guys this, okay? If what Woj tweeted is true and all players are really available and the Rockets have seen their ceiling and they include James Harden in the all players are available, tell me why this trade makes no sense. Tell me where it fails. Tell me who says no. James Harden to LA for LeBron James to Houston. LeBron goes to Houston. He gets his win now window back. He plays with CP3. He's on a team that can contend. James Harden, while older than the rest of that young core, immediately puts the Lakers into the playoffs, into contention, and has a longer window to develop Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, and whoever else they want to bring in free agent-wise. I know the minute that you mention LeBron in trade, everybody sees no's and goes, that's crazy. But just tell me, and I'm open, fellas. Ryan, you and I talked about this the other day on the Will Cain show.
I'll tell you, Will.
Tell me why it makes no sense.
Okay, I don't know. It's not that it makes no sense. It's an interesting idea. The issue is the coaching. You know, James Harden with Vogel, I don't love that idea, but I think it actually does make some sense. But it's a little bit more fantastical, I think, than is realistically what's going to happen. Daryl Morey, after all, just said everyone other than James Harden, right? So if we take him at his word, the news to me is not even CP3 is available. CP3 is available. He has a long and bad contract, and he's in decline. And he's old. So, of course, he's available. The interesting thing to me is not that. And I also laud Daryl Morey for saying, okay, we've hit a wall. We're going to have to do something here. What's interesting to me is Clint Capella's available. And P.J. Tucker's available. And all those kind of guys are available, by the way, in order to move that CP3 contract. But the way they frame it in the press is the way Daryl Morey will push it out there. Hey, even CP3 is available. Like, of course he is. They'd love to get out of that deal. And they're going to have to use their other assets to do it. And by the way, again, the news to me is Daryl Morey's open for business.
Quickly, Ryan,
about anyone but James Harden.
Quickly, Ryan, I just want to clarify, Max. According to Woj's tweet, it says all players and picks are available in talks. It's just hard to imagine a James Harden scenario.
Got it. I thought he excluded Harden, but I agree. In that case, nothing would be off the table, and there's much about Harden for LeBron that makes sense.
So, we did talk about this, and here's the reality. If you trade Harden for LeBron James, neither team necessarily improves. Obviously, Houston would get a little better, but I think both those guys and Houston is understanding we need help for James Harden. LA is saying we need help for LeBron James. Why? You've got to compete with the Warriors, with Kevin Durant or without Kevin Durant. You need to have a star cast. Now, amidst the nonsense in Los Angeles, Will Cain, amidst all the trade talks and we are willing to move on from LeBron James, which is insane for me, I reached out to his people, and the first thing that was said, there's no way, there's not a chance, we are not looking to move. We love L.A. We are committed. Magic Johnson could be gone. People could be asking to get rid of LeBron James. Whether they believe or not, LeBron is deep-rooted in L.A.
Yeah, but Ryan, to be clear, LeBron does not have a no-trade clause. So LeBron may want to be in L.A. This is about what's better for the two franchises. And I think you just agreed with me that LeBron on the Rockets would make the Rockets better. And Ryan, listen,
when it matters most.
Ryan, you and I joke around a lot, and I go with you, but I know you know your basketball. And we talked about this when it comes to Giannis. The system that Milwaukee built was the LeBron system. Drive, penetrate, dish. Surround him with shooters. Wouldn't LeBron fit Houston pretty well.
Understand this, though. Harden is younger. He wouldn't want to put that pounding on his body for the regular season. He would need a supporting cast.
And Ryan, yes,
who
Chris
would say
Paul,
no? He wouldn't.
Ryan,
he wouldn't have to put the pounding
on
his body because they wouldn't need to win 60 games. LeBron would make the playoffs with that squad.
Who says no to that deal, Ryan?
Now, Max, look. LA would say, yeah, we'll take James Harden. We'll move forward. They may be willing to do that or at least entertain it. Some people in the front office split. Some say yes, some say no. Is it realistic? I don't believe it's
happening. But you think Houston would say no?
If you're Houston, who might say no? Here's who might say no. James Harden may try to throw something up in resistance to that because of the coaching staff in LA, which appears dysfunctional. Vogel with Kidd right below him. But who says no? Question is interesting, Will, because if no one says no, then what's to stop it? And it's an interesting idea. Here's another advantage of your idea is Harden goes into a situation where maybe other players don't mind so much playing with James Harden, as you hear people don't want to be overshadowed by LeBron. And the Lakers don't have cap issues, and they have a young core and fungible, tradable assets to build around Harden.
Exactly,
if they wanted,
Max. They bring in Harden
from Los Angeles.
It's a 2-for-1 deal for the Lakers, essentially. Bring in Harden, and now you have a bigger free agent pool to come play with you if, in fact, guys don't want to play with LeBron.
But LeBron and CP3, now you don't have to move the CP3 deal because that works also.
You've got to hear the very first thing I said. LeBron and his camp would say no. They are committed to L.A. So the last thing I would want to do is bring on a guy and a star who would not want to be there. Now,
why wouldn't Harden want to be in L.A. where he's from?
I didn't say Harden. I said LeBron wouldn't want to be in Houston.
Well, you think he's not going to ball?
That's just a fact.
You think he's not going to ball with CP3? LeBron's going to ball regardless.
Is CP3 going to be healthy for an entire season? This isn't young Chris Paul. This isn't New Orleans Chris Paul.
When it matters most, Chris Paul. Ryan, are they going to miss the playoffs? They ain't missing the playoffs. And once they get there, LeBron and CP3 will do what they got to do.
And Ryan, listen, I know. You know what is more realistic than anything? No. Everybody can come to the conclusion of no. Big ideas, big trades. The most logical thing that happens is nothing that happens. I get it. But Ryan, let me tell you something. LeBron James at some point might want to come to the conclusion, might want to take a look in the mirror that the dysfunction in LA is going to impede his own personal career on the court. It will impede his own personal pursuit of a championship. And if he can come to that realization, and by the way, I'm thinking that's looking pretty logical right now. Houston's a pretty nice landing spot.
Hear this. The one thing that I don't want you to count out, and I want you to mark this down, do not be surprised when LeBron James goes out and gets another big-time free agent, if not two. So do not be quick to scrap this. Because, listen, as far as the plans in L.A., this wasn't a one-year plan.
When's this happening this summer? Okay, marking it down.
When?
All right, yeah. We're waiting.
Don't be surprised.
Let's keep it
don't
going.
be surprised. You'll be kissing my feet again,
Here's
Will.
Magic Johnson yesterday responding to ESPN writer Baxter Holmes' article detailing the dysfunction inside the Lakers organization.
I'm a guy that will tell you the truth. Now, a lot of Laker employees didn't like that. I held them accountable. That's what my job was. Did I have to fire some people? Yes. The one thing I didn't get to do is hire everybody that I wanted, right? Rob and I got put together. I inherited Luke Walton. So I didn't get to hire my own people. And so then you can judge me. Hey, you can judge me by trades I made. You can judge me by I didn't have enough shooters. Yes. Did I do some things wrong? Of course. And I admitted those things. I'm not a guy who's going to run from the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. And also, you can talk bad about me. If I did something wrong, I don't mind that. Whether it's on ESPN or other shows, say that Magic made mistakes, because I learned from my mistakes.
A truth teller, just like Ryan Hollins. All right, it didn't work out with the Lake Show, but Max, let me ask you this. Do you think Magic can be a successful NBA executive?
No, I don't, because he's not willing to put in the time. Saying like it could potentially he do it if he chose to dedicate all his time to it, sure. But that's not the same thing as saying he can do it. I remember when Lennox Lewis retired, who's a friend of mine. We were broadcast partners for a while. I remember basically the idea was, if I torture myself into shape, if I make myself run through those brick walls, I can still beat the Klitschkos. But I just don't want to do that anymore. That's the same thing as saying you can't. So he was smart and he retired. No, Magic can't do it because he's not willing to. And that's the same thing as saying you can't.
Look, man, here's the reality. He absolutely can. Let's take a step back. Everybody sees the circus in L.A., but take a step back. The hardest thing that L.A. did, guess what? They drafted well, They cleared cap space, and you signed LeBron James. Do you understand that LA is literally one player, if not two players away from a championship, if not a long playoff run? This wasn't a one-year commitment. Now, Magic already admitted his mistakes. What? I didn't clean house. I didn't bring in my own people. Guess what? I could not trust Rob Pelinka. He knows that and understands that. But if he was actually given the authority, he might have had a chance.
Well, Ryan, I don't think that is acknowledging your mistakes. I don't think saying you should have brought in your own people or shifting the blame to others is the kind of self-awareness that sets you up for failure. Failures of the past to turn into successes of the future. I'll tell you what else. I'm going to be talking about this a lot more on the Stephen A. Smith Show today, where I'm filling in.
Oh, hey. All right, guys, we will see you in Toronto tomorrow. I cannot wait. Game 1. Going to see some good basketball, experience that culture. It's going to